right, so let's learn how to correctly move through this skill in IXL titled Solve Equations, Complete the Solution. When you are asked to solve the equations, really all you're going to do is just solve the problem and follow the directions that they give you initially. So when you see that 3c plus 5 equals 17, so all they're doing here is just reminding you of what the steps are at the very first level. So the first thing they remind you to do is to subtract 5 from both sides, which is what you know you're supposed to do to get rid of plus 5. You already knew you were supposed to subtract 5 from both sides, so you're just doing it now. Those cancel. 3c equals 17 minus 5, which is 12. And so we've done that, and we now know that 3c equals 12. Then we're going to go back and do what they said to do next, which is divide both sides by 3. So we divide both sides by 3. Those cancel. C equals 12 divided by 3, which is 4. And so now the result is C equals 4. So all we did was just follow their instructions and give the results. So once again, this time we have an equation with parentheses. So if 2 times r plus 1 is equal to 6, they're telling you the first step is to divide both sides by 2, which again we know we're going to get rid of the farthest thing on the variable side, which in this case is 2. And so we're going to divide both sides by 2, like they said. So this is really just kind of re-coaching you through how to solve the equations. So r plus 1 equals 6 divided by 2, which is 3. Then they remind you to subtract 1 from both sides. When I subtract 1 from both sides, those cancel. R equals 3 minus 1, which is 2. So after we divided both sides by 2, we saw that r plus 1 was equal to 3. And after we subtracted 1 from both sides, we saw that r was equal to 2. And if we follow the directions that they give you, it's no issue. Doing one more at this level. W over 16 plus 9 equals 9. Okay, so what we're going to do first is get rid of the 9 like we always do. And they tell you to do that, you're going to subtract 9 from both sides. Subtract 9 from both sides, those cancel. W over 16 is equal to 9 minus 9, which in this case is actually 0, right? And that's okay. So from there, we should be saying that W over 16 equals 0. There's nothing wrong with that. And so now they tell you next to multiply both sides by 16. Okay, so show the multiplication by 16 on both sides. We know those 16s cancel, so W is equal to 0 times 16, which is 0. But it's what it is. It's okay to get a solution of 0. So now we found out that after multiplying both sides by 16, you got 0, so the value of W was 0 the entire time. We're just going to follow the steps. Now, eventually, they begin to not give you the step because you should know how to solve it. And so if we say negative 16 times q minus 8 equals 16, well, we already know we have to get rid of the furthest thing from the variable on the variable side. So in this case was negative 16. To get rid of the negative 16, because it's being multiplied by the parentheses q minus 8, you divide both sides by negative 16. So we knew that already. Those cancel, and I get q minus 8 equals 16 divided by negative 16, which is negative 1. And so I did get what I expected to get. How did I get to that point? I divided both sides by negative 16. Then from there, I'm going to, they now give me the next step, which is to add 8 to both sides. So yes, I knew that I should have added 8 to both sides, so I can get rid of the 8 and get q by itself. So q is equal to negative 1 plus 8, which is positive 7. So ultimately, I end up with q equals 7. Just following the instructions and filling in the missing spots. I'll do one more at this level. So y over negative 9 minus 6 equals negative 16. And so the first thing I know what I'm supposed to do is to get rid of the minus 6. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. Those cancel. Y over negative 9 equals negative 16 plus 6, which is negative 10. And so now I'm going to confirm that what I did first was add 6 to both sides. And I did get what I was supposed to get. So if I follow the instructions correctly, you already can tell that you're doing it in the correct manner. And then from there, I know to get rid of this -9, I need to multiply both sides by -9 because it's the -9 here was dividing y. So I need to multiply to get rid of it. And they tell you right here. So just follow the directions, you'll end up fine. So I multiply by -9, those cancel, keep everything organized, and y equals -10 times -9, which is +90. So as long as I do the math that I know I'm supposed to do, and then support myself with the steps they tell me to do, then I should have no issue doing these. Okay, so now let's go to the next level. And then finally, you're going to start seeing problems where they don't give you any guides. And so that doesn't matter because you already know how to solve these. So all you're going to do is follow the steps. Since this entire left side is being divided by 4, I need to get rid of division by 4 first. It's furthest away from the variable, which is a. So to get rid of division by 4, I multiply both sides by 4. Those cancel, and so I get left with a plus 10, which is equal to 13 times 4, which is 52. So far, a plus 10 is equal to 52. How did I get to that point? I multiply both sides by 4, and now I'm going to finish the problem by subtracting 10 from both sides. So that a is by itself. 52 minus 10 is 42. And so I just enter that a is 42. And how did I get that? By subtracting 10 from both sides. And so that's all you're doing, is you're just solving the problem for yourself and writing out what you did. So actually you can get to a point where you aren't even looking at what they are filling in. You could literally just solve the entire equation and then plug the steps back in. So if I say here, I need to get rid of +9, so I subtract 9 from both sides. Those cancel. 2p equals 15 minus 9, which is 6. Then I divide both sides by 2. Those cancel. And p equals 6 divided by 2, which is 3. And so I go back in and I say, all right, so 2p was 6. And how did I get that? I got that by subtracting 9 from both sides. And then I found out that p was 3, and I got that by dividing both sides by 2. And as you can see, these clues here actually make sure that you're on the right path. So as long as you solved it correctly and then went back and confirmed, you'll see, okay, well, this is what I was supposed to do, and you can be pretty confident that you solved it correctly. All right, so I'll do one more, and then we'll cut it off. So v over 3 plus 13 equals 19. Once again, I really don't need the guides over here. I know I'm supposed to subtract 13 from both sides first. Those cancel. I get left with v over 3, which is 19 minus 13, which is going to be 6. Then I know I'm supposed to multiply both sides by 3 to get rid of division by 3. Those cancel, and v equals 6 times 3, which is 18. And so now we'll go back in and confirm, yes, I was supposed to subtract 13 from both sides. So v over 3 gave me 6. And then from there, I was supposed to multiply both sides by 3. And so v is equal to 18. That's all we're doing. That is the entire assignment. So let's go ahead, knock that out. Not that big of an issue. Let's get it done.